Hello, I need an officer. A man just ran out of my neighbor's apartment screaming with handcuffs on. I know he's in danger. I just know it. My neighbor is an evil man.
Come back here! Come back! It was on this night, July 22nd, 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested in his apartment complex after the escape of victim Tracy Edwards.
Tracy Edwards went back to Dahmer's house to watch a movie and have drinks after meeting at a bar. After being attacked and threatened with a knife, he managed to escape and flagged down police officers.
He was taken back to Dahmer's house. Dahmer calmly explained that it was a misunderstanding and the officers almost believed him.
They checked around his apartment, quickly finding photos of dismembered bodies in his drawer. He was immediately arrested and escorted out of the building.
Soon after his arrest, copious amounts of evidence were found in his apartment. He admitted to everything he did soon after his arrest in a 60-hour interview.
Because I was angry with them, not because I hated them.
But because I
had to keep them with me.
And
As my obsession grew, I was saving body parts.
Such as skulls.
And skeletons.
The trial focused on determining Dahmer's sanity because he had switched his plea to guilty by insanity.
The trial did not happen for 7 months after his arrest because of the shift in his plea.
Happening on January 30th, 1992.
The remains of 11 victims were found in his apartment. As the trial went on, more discoveries were made about the severity of the case, ranging from physical remains to tool issues.
The freezer compartment of the refrigerator contained what was later identified as a human heart and large muscle fillets packaged in plastic bags.
Polaroid photographs of victims, both alive and dead, male genitals, and hands were discovered.
On the screen shows photo evidence from Dahmer's apartment, including clean skulls, boxes of muriatic acid, degreaser solvents, and clean skulls. On the second photo with the skulls, you can see the 4 holes drilled into the skulls by Dahmer himself.
Conrack, one of the 14-year-old victims of Jeffrey, escaped his apartment after being heavily drugged and ran into his neighbor, Glenda Cleveland. She called the cops and the cops put Conrack back into Dahmer's custody.
The police later came out and apologized for the ignorance of the boys' fatal situation, saying Dahmer had lied, telling them it was his boyfriend of legal age.
Glenda Cleveland was a major part of this case. She lived right next to Dahmer and shared fence that he had left smelling like rotten flesh.
Every time she tried to warn the cops or get help about the evil going on next door, it was pushed aside. She even went as far as to contact the FBI. The FBI told her it was outside of their district.
Due to the amount of time that went on without acknowledgement and the ignorance of Dahmer's crimes, it is shown that the police had put this issue on a low priority level. Dahmer used this to his advantage, targeting LGBTQ communities of color, knowing that it would be harder for the victims' families to get justice and harder to get legal action. This sparked a stigma in the area, fueling the wrongful associations between homosexuality and violence, making the members of the community live in fear.
Due to the lack of interference and acknowledgement of what Dahmer was doing, law enforcement lost the trust of many individuals and caused calls for reform and accountability within the Milwaukee Police Department.
This also gave the LGBTQ community a sense of distrust towards not only law enforcement, but each other. This has never been a case of trying to get free. I don't ever want freedom. Frankly, I wanted death for myself. This was a case to tell the world that I did what I did, not for reasons of hate. I hated no one. I know I was sick or evil or both. Now I believe I was sick. The doctors have told me about my sickness and now I have some peace.
After Dahmer received his 957-year sentence, no one expected him to last very long.
But the amount of time he spent in jail was surprisingly short. After he went to jail, he devoted himself to being a born-again Christian and got baptized.
2 years and 9 months after he was given his sentence, Jeffrey Dahmer was beaten to death by Christopher Scarver, a fellow inmate of the Columbia Correctional Institution where Dahmer was being held.
The reason for Christopher's acts were simply because he did not like how Dahmer tortured everyone with cruel jokes.
People serving time with Dahmer said that he would mold the cafeteria food to resemble limbs and squeeze ketchup packets around the prison to look like blood. He would put them in places where people would be.
Even the guards were concerned with Dahmer's safety.
For the first year of his sentence, he was put in solitary confinement with at least one police escort around him whenever he was out of his cell.
With this information, it's easy to wonder how he got hit. It all started over a joke.
The guards randomly decided to leave Dahmer alone with 2 other prisoners so they could work. While Christopher was mopping the floor, he kept feeling someone poking his back. He could not tell which man did it after looking the 2 dead in the eye.
The 3 split up to continue working, and Christopher followed Dahmer, confronting him in the locker room, asking if it was him touching his back.
Dahmer was in complete shock. He looked towards the door. That's when Christopher started beating his head in with a 20-inch metal bar he got from the weight room.
I don't believe it's an accident that the staff let me alone with Dahmer. They knew I hated him.
Many people believe Dahmer should have gotten the death sentence. Unfortunately for those people, the trial took place in a state that does not allow the death penalty.
The capture of Jeffrey Dahmer and the revelations made about his heinous crimes had a lasting impact on not just the Milwaukee community, but the world.
His actions instilled fear, specifically among the gay community, making members wary of going to clubs as well as meeting up with people for the first time or coming on dates.
Not only did these members feel fear, but they felt a sense of vulnerability after being a target for so long with little acknowledgement from law enforcement.
The little acknowledgement outraged the community, causing discussions about homophobia, racism, and police accountability.
Some systematic changes include the changes to the criteria for insanity defenses in a trial, which also increased public awareness, making people more careful with their actions. This also fueled the interest in studying the psychological aspects of serial crimes and the minds behind them. Dahmer's exposure resulted in the entire area grappling with grief, anxiety, and a deep sense of betrayal. However, amongst the pain, there was also a demand for justice and systematic changes to address these issues and prevent them from happening again. This case is important because it proved to the victims' families as well as Dahmer's neighbors that they were right, and their efforts to expose the crimes he was doing should have never gone unnoticed. This case is also important because of the heavy changes it gave to the world. It made everyone fearful of everyone and untrusting of everyone. And this is a problem. No one should have to fear their neighbors or fear going on dates and never making it home to their families.
The families of Dahmer's victims endured the most unimaginable amount of grief and trauma due to the lack of closure and the amount of tension the entire case turned on them.
Our thoughts will always remain with the victims of this tragedy brought on by a soulless criminal who took innocent lives. Dahmer showed us how broken a mind can be and how easy it can be to let your guard down over a friendly face. Now we always remember you never know what is going on in someone's mind and you never know someone's true intentions.